Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna get a drink of soda and then we'll get on to our puzzle rush and get going. Actually, it's my tea, sorry. There we go. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. Let's do it. Mate. Mate. Uh, Bishop takes rook. Pawn push. Let's see, that's mate. 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 Let me see here. Rook takes this. Wins a piece. Wins a piece. Wins a piece. Let's see, rotates, rotates, and then queen takes bishop. Mate. Let me see here. Check, and then rotates, king takes, bishop takes e4. Yep. All right. Let's see, what am I overlooking here? So queen checks on h5, g. Oh, silly me. So check on h5 here. There. That's me, okay. Come on. So check. Nothing wrong so far, so that's not bad. Let's see what this could have been. So no. Oh, pin. Didn't see that. Let's give it one more shot. Let's see if we can't whip through some of these. Uh-oh. That was my fault there. Oops. Let's see rotates. I'm on a record pace here, so let's see if we can do this thing. Let's see, check. Bishop takes knight. Bishop takes. Check, rotate. Okay. So we check. Check there. King up. Was it there? Find out what I did wrong here. There we go. So that was a gimme. I should have gotten that one. That would have been 27. Okay. So in passing, alright. We'll get one last run. Gotta try one more really fast. I find out what I did wrong here. Ah, I don't know why I didn't see that fork. That's the weirdest thing. So that holds on to the knight. I should have remembered that one. Okay, let's try this one here. Let's give it one more try, and then we'll get on to our stuff. Come on. Oh. Okay, let's see here. So. call it that. I had a 26, so that was good. Okay, let's see, what are we, is it, I think the reason that's not right is because of here. Yeah, okay, so that, I understand that way, and then let's do this one here, and then we'll get started. Oh, queen takes. I didn't see that. Let's try that. Try that one more time. Gotta find. I gotta keep an eye on that. Okay, let's do the 14. So if takes there, and there, and if he comes up here. Yeah, it's an interesting one to say the least, yeah. That'd be mate. Okay, let's get on to our studies now. Alright. Let me get a drink and then we'll get going. Let's see if there's anything new. Still classic variation. So we're working on 7. Let's enlarge the board. So let's do it to it. This is J. Hector versus Wesley So, who's black. So Wesley's playing the French. Even the great Wesley So, that the Lord has brought up, would play this, so that's cool. Let's see here, so G5, that's whole knight F6, G5. Okay, and then bishop B7. So the normal classic variation. In this variation, black immediately breaks the pin at the cost of swapping his good bishop. He played H4. Knight A4 is a playable line. Bishop takes, queen takes, knight takes, pawn takes. And queen E2, B6, castle queenside is an exclam move that would be good here. Bishop b7, g3, knight hd7, h5, a3, exclam. Okay. F3, not F3, exclam. The reason he's playing F3 is to break this down. So E takes F, bishop takes F. This is actually Boris Steinitz, or Boris Spassky, versus J. Sleuth, Denmark, 1983. There is a line where knight g8, which is kind of an interesting move. Bishop e3, b6, and g6. Oops. Queen g there, g6. With possibilities and a wild setup. But h4 is actually the Alekhine Chad gambit. I don't understand why the official name is, he says, Alekhine Chad attack, since it's clearly a gambit. So white castles, black castles. So wisely declined, and I think this is black's best variation to decline it. Black can win a pawn, but it's kind of scary after takes. Yet it means yet by no means free. White gets a last initiative attack after it takes. Queen takes. Knight h3. Queen e7. Knight f4. For the pawn, white obtained a developmental lead in the H file and a centralized space. So this wouldn't have been good. So Wesley just castled. Queen g4. The threat is actually h6 here. So f6 exclam at this point. There's also bishop d3, c5, h5 here, g6, h6, c takes, knight f5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes c3, knight takes g6, f takes g6, bishop takes g6, bishop takes, knight takes g6, queen takes check. White should probably accept perpetual check here. Because if here and he tries something like this, you can easily parry that with bishop to f6 here, and you cover the square. So f6 exclam. In such a situation, The French player must rely on principle of counter a wing attack with a center attack. So, oops, here, knight f3. Interesting. There's actually queen takes a6 is an interesting move. Check. King h8. E takes f. Knight takes f. And queen e2. b4. That's g4. My bad there, b4. Castle queenside. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and bishop d6. Black prepares for a counter strike with the queen and the pawns. Wesley played rook to f7. If bishop takes g5, bishop d3 gives white a strong attack. Rook f5 here. Knight takes. Knight takes d5. Exclam. So rook f5 was an exclam, and knight f5 was an exclam. So they each exclaimed each other. He takes f6. Knight takes f6. Bishop, knight queen g6, 3. Knight c6, which is actually a waste of time here. I think Wesley could have actually done a slightly better here with c5 and chipped away at white center right at this moment would be perfect, but rook to, castle queenside, queen f8, h5, bishop b4, bishop takes f6. Again, a waste of time because there's no need to do that. White clearly is better if he played bishop e2 or e3, d3. I mean. C takes, B takes, of course, and then bishop d d7, h6, and about equal. Took there, rook takes, bishop d3, bishop d6, 95, exclam, queen h4 is actually a mistake. Rook h4. I think that it's because it wins a pawn. Queen g. Rook rook e4 wins material. Because of queen h, then e5 and rook takes f2, rook df1, bishop takes a5, one second. Wow. One second, I need a drink. Some reason, I don't know what happened there. One second. D takes e5, exclam here. If after bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes, and then a bit takes there. So this queen would have actually been a mistake. Rook takes f check. Rook, I'm sorry, I just a little breathing a little heavy there. Rook takes and then queen e7. Black is a pawn up but still behind in development. Bishop g6 is an exclam idea. The bishop is poised to help basically be a really good thing. Let's see here, let me see what it's saying. The computer rates this even. That's what the author said. Knight d4. Exclam. Rook f7. Queen d8. We love our attack so much that we don't realize the panic. So this actually was a mistake. Believe it or not, the position was actually even before this mistake, but on white's black played knight to f5. How could that? I was wondering if... Oh, I see why. If the queen leaves h2 and then queen g4 or g5 check, after the king moves, we actually can pick up the pawn. Okay. See, the idea is to maneuver into h5. At this point, there's a mate. Knight f5, queen h5, queen h6, g4, bishop e8, g4, takes c7, queen d8, knight b5, queen f8, g5, queen f4, king d1, queen f1, queen f2, check, and white must take perpetual since king c2 3 is actually a losing move. It loses to queen to e3, king b4, a5, king a4, then bishop d7. With a deadly attack, and if rook takes, you have check. King has to, if the king moves here, Bishop's mate. King's there. Bishop mate. If king here, queen takes, and then mate. F4 was a mistake, so knight to F5 divides up the pieces with an exclamation mark. G4. Knight H4. Rotates G2 or G7 check. When we lack resources, let's take the pass away. So here he didn't. It doesn't deliver checkmate, but maybe there's a perpetual. F. He says, this is funny. The author says, Toto, I don't feel like it doesn't feel like we're in Kansas anymore. That's funny. This attack, he says, looks really scary, and white lacks the raw material to make it count. The fate is now in the hands of Wesley So and white to try to find a perpetual. 92. Check. King 3. G5. Knight F3. King D1. Queen takes G5. Queen H7. Combination alert. Combination alert. Alright. This is your turn, my friends. The last move of the game that wins, I am going to have oops. Exclam. It's up to you. This is the last move. It's the winning move. Winning move. Winning move. you said the brilliant king, our excellent king e2 and a sclam move, you were right. So what we have to do, right, we have to come back here after our opponent plays h4. Black must decline this attacking line and actually castle. It's best to decline, that's what the author says. Next we'll be taking a look at the Tarrasch variation, so that'll be fun. Yep. So that'll be fun. Now we're going to go into Magnus's game. Let's see. Alrighty. Perfect. Nice. Okay, let's get on to that. Let's get some water and we'll get going. Oops, I should do board editor. That's my fault. Just got thirsty all of a sudden. So let's get this board edited. Just want to make sure I have it all right. Yep, yep. So good. White to move here. White retains the rook by playing bishop takes e1 exclam. Because you're thinking, wait, can't the knight take? No. Because of the pin here. The knight can't take here. So d8 was played. if king c7, Then bishop g3 check, king b6. And although white would be clearly better in this position as well. So d8, h4 check, king c7, bishop g3, king d8, rook c5, and knight takes d4. Black can't defend d5 because on if he tries bishop e6, this is actually a mistake here. Bishop takes a6 would win a pawn, because if he takes back, then the knight falls, so it wins a complete pawn. Knight rook c7 check. See, we get to win a pawn on b6. If we took here, knight e6, and then h4, white would have but a small. Actually, white is clear but smaller than in the game, a clear advantage. White has a clear advantage in this move, but not in the one that. Sorry, actually that didn't come out right. Sorry. This d5 one, instead of this one here, he has a better advantage, a really good advantage. What I'm saying, after takes and here, still an advantage because he's got the two bishops, because pawns are on opposite sides of the board, but not as big of an advantage if he's able to neutralize the 7th rank. Get a rook on the 7th. So bishop c6 to cover the pawn. Rook takes f7. Now Magnus can, with this king and his bishop, stop the d pawn. Now he's got a pass pawn on the king side, majority I mean, that soon will be implemented into a pass pawn. Rook e7. Black can't abide with the rook on the 7th, so he has to try to offer it. Magnus goes, sorry friend, I'm not going to do that, and then e8. Now he takes on his turn, and if king had just gone to d7, bishop h4, g5, bishop f2, knight e6, and then rook to h8, and white wins. It's going to win all the pawns. It's going to win that pawn, and just the whole house is going to collapse. So he had to trade off. King takes, and bishop to e5, knight goes e6, bishop f5, king f7, bishop takes e6, exclaim. A fine judgment. Magnus had to take into consideration many elements. He will win a pawn, but many would worry about enduring the bishops of opposite color endgame, which could be a draw. Magnus judged it correctly and took, because of taking here, and then he took the pawn h5, king e3, King f5, bishop d4, bishop b5, bishop c5, exclam. This bishop c5 is a huge one. This is ginormous because he wants to potentially get the control of this whole diagonal here, which really would be devastating. So if we had tried h3 here, h4 would be an interesting maneuver for black, to say the least. Bishop c5 and trying to go after the pawn. King g6, e7 now to go after the pawn, and then king h5. And white had to basically hold on and try to watch this type of a idea of the bishop coming in and taking on g2. So that's why he didn't go down that line, but played the correct move. Bishop c5, bishop c4, a3, put in an opposite color, bishop b5, b3, takes away c4 from the bishop and enables white to play king d4 later on, of course. a5 was played here, king f2. First we gotta secure it. He wants to tire out or confuse his opponent. So a4, b takes c, a takes b, and then h3 at this point. Madness, this is actually an exclam move. Because Madness wants to create two connected pass pawns. Bishop d1, g4 check, g takes, and then h takes g. If king had gone to g6, king g3, bishop at e2, and then f4 at this point would lead to the game's position pretty soon. So takes, this actually move is an exclam because it created there's no now potential of if the bishops are somehow they can get traded off. Maybe king trades, and both king trades for that, the king trades for here. If the taking had gone that way, then potentially it could have ended a draw. I don't know, it's interesting. It's natural to avoid having rook pawns even when the bishop is even when the bishop is the right color for the corner, which is not the case here. The key to white's success will be giving a check on g6. White's problem is that he has to stop Black's king from reaching the a8 square and basically hold on, what did I do? No, I'm good. I'm good. All's good. Okay. So that's why he played king g6 here. King g3. b5. Oops. Sorry, not b6. That's my fault there. b5. f4. c2. Bishop e3. f5. And then bishop takes f5. Pawn takes f5. King takes would be a draw at this point because of the pawn going to a8. So this move would have been a mistake. The saving move would have happened. So d4. Sacrificing a pawn to open the a2 to g8 diagonal. If bishop d3, there's bishop e4, and then there's king f6. Let's do d3, king f2, bishop e4, d4, c2, bishop b6, d1, then f5, king g5, bishop d8. Black is unable to hold the pawns because if he takes here, this runs and there's not enough time to stop the pawns, so it's over. King f2, b1, king e2, king e4, or bishop e4, bishop b8, bishop c2, king e3, f6, bishop d8, e6, bishop h4, d4, check, king takes, and then bishop to d1, f5, and white wins because if he comes to f, then you check. He's got a check there, and then now he's got the two connectors together. King f6, d4 check, king g6, b6, bishop b6, king f6, d8 check, of course, king g6, king f2, d4, bishop b6, d3, bishop e3, king f7, f5, king f6, bishop d2, bishop d1, king g3, e5, king h4, a4, king g5, bishop d1, bishop c3, check, king d6, king f4, f4, a5, e7, and then g5, king f8, g6, h5, king g5, bishop d1, f6, b3, bishop b4 check, king g8 at this point would be a playable move, king f4, because we're trying to maneuver around. If you can, we're going to try to win this and keep everything going. a2, king e5, king c4, king d6. He's trying to maneuver around to get here, and then we can push the pawn. So d4, Carlsen played bishop f2. It's an interesting move. He postpones capturing the pawn since, again, demonstrating his great technique in handling endgames. Bishop e4, d3 leads to f5 check, f6, d4 check, king f7, and then c3, and white wins easy at this point, as we've seen in the other line. Now bishop takes d4. Now, white's task to reach the e square with the bishop is incidental now. The position would be winning if black had a b5 pawn, had the bishop and the b5 pawn, but nope, doesn't have it here. So c2, bishop b6, bishop e4, bishop d8. Remember, we're trying to get things going. Bishop c2, king f2, e4, king e3, attacking the bishop, king c2, bishop h4, bishop b1, king d4, c2, king e5, d3, and then boom, f5 is coming up the board. This guarantees the win. King f7, so he doesn't really have any notation for a while. C2, bishop D, E1, D3, bishop C3, king C, bishop C1, 2, king F4, bishop B1, and G6. Another accomplishment. King G8, king G5, bishop C2, F6, bishop B3. Just trying to hold everything together. Trying to trade this bishop off for both these pawns. He wants to trade this bishop off for both these pawns. Bishop B4. Bishop, if he had played bishop F7, this would have been too premature. This would have been a mistake, because bishop takes, and wrong corner of the board, and the king would get over here and push and get everything traded. Wrong color. It's the wrong color of the board. A2, king F4, king C4. He's simply up a pawn, actually two pawns, and the opposite colored bishop, having a lot of elements, and considering this to be winning, Magnus actually traded down for this to happen. Alright, so let's see. Get a couple sips of water, and then we'll get to moving. I'll do, if there's help in the chat, we'll do 12, but if not, we'll just do 6 puzzles, and I'll call it a day. So we'll see if some chat help comes in with you. Let's I'll get it ready. Board editor. And it's up to you to solve the puzzles now. I'm setting them up. This is chat help time. So if you guys have any moves you want to put in after I get it started, it's white mate 2, and you're more than welcome to participate in the chat. So I want to make sure I have this right. There we go. Got that right. Got that right. Got that right. Alright. White to mate in 2. White to mate in 2. It's up to you to find the mate 2. White to mate in 2. Do you have any lines you want to look at on here? Put them in if you do. Give you 15 seconds. Alright. If you said knight d6, you were right. Because if knight h, then there's mate. If bishop intercepts, there's mate there. Mate here. No, there's no mate there, sorry. And there's even mate there. Nope. Sorry, there's only two mates. So here, there. I'm not sure if... Does this have a mate? Nope. There's no mate. So knight knight g5 doesn't work. The only one that works is knight f6. So that, and knight f6 h takes is mate. Or if here there's 8 g8, that's mate. Rook 8, and then if bishop, then that's mate as well. Alright, so 5 more. If we get some participation, we'll go to 12, but if not, we're just doing 5 more. White to mate 2. I'll get you some, I'll give you 15 seconds. I'll tell you when now. Alright. So wait. Hey, how you doing? And knight d5, check, and if rook takes d5, knight takes e4 is mate. You do? What position do you have? Okay. If it's in alliedchess.org, if you could put it in there, or leechess.org, then we can do it. We'll get this set up here. Mate 2. Okay. Let's solve this one, and then I'll put a mark by where we stop. But I believe it's knight, a rook, h3. Knight takes h3, and then f3 is mate. There we go. Okay, so let's put a mark where we need to pick up. Alright. Alright, so give me the coordinates and I'll do the best I can to set up the position. I'll start it now. Okay, go. What's the coordinates? Okay. White pawns, okay. A2. Okay, I'm good with that. Rook h1, rook h2. Okay. I got it. So what next? Alright, white knight on h4 and b1. Okay. Where's the king? Or is there a queen? Oh, queen c2. Okay. And king e1. Okay, now we gotta do black, right? Oh, bishop d3. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That's just allergies sometimes. Black pawns, so A, B, D5, F7, G, and H. Oops. A, B7, D5, F, queen on D6. Okay. Oh, B6, so sorry. I thought it said D6, that's my bad. Maybe that was my mistake. Okay, we got the queen in the right spot now. Okay, where's all the the knight? Okay, knight's on D3 or D4, sorry, and knight on B8. So where are the rooks for black? Where can they be? Bishop F5. Alright. It's probably black to move to. And you can put a pawn on E6. Okay, there we go. King E8. There has to be rooks. So where are the rooks? Ah, happy day. Okay. Is it white to move or black to move? Black to move. Oh, you played with the white pieces? Oh, I was wondering about this move. So this is actually... There we go. Do you want me to now analyze the knight takes, or what do you want me to analyze? Just the position of hand for black or for white? Oh, knight takes knight takes f5. Knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, queen check, queen takes, and then f takes e6. Huh. Oh, you played so bishop takes, queen takes. I think he's lost. I think your opponent's lost at this position. Let me see. Maybe queen queen d6 is an idea. Oh, you say about bishop. Oh, I gotcha. I see. So you got confused and played. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You played queen b3. All right. Okay. At this point, let me see here. here. Let's see here if he takes, castles. Why can't he castle? You can't castle? It won't allow me to castle. That is weird. It's okay. Well, we'll just say after takes. It's okay. Oh, it's the bishop. It's the bishop here. Stops you from, let's see here. Not sure why that castling doesn't work. I think it's because of see, if you don't have the game, for some reason it won't allow you to castle. So we'll just let's see if we can do something without castling. So takes here. If castles, then bishop, then queen takes on a1. I probably at this point would play queen. So I'm thinking that if after this, if castles, I'll put in the line. If castles, queen takes a1, queen b5 check. If knight c6, then I'm thinking you can actually. I don't think it's winning. I still don't think we can win here. Well, maybe we can. Maybe after knight c6 we can play queen takes b8, and then if rook d8 for black, you have queen takes. Maybe not rook d8. Maybe rook c. Probably c. No, c8 loses. So then rook d8 has to be played. Rook d8, and then queen takes c5. Or c6. Sorry, c6 check, and king e7 maybe, king e7. I'm thinking, yeah. So I think you're still good there. So if after, so what you're saying is after castles, if queen takes a1, queen c2, knight c6, and then knight a3. Huh? Yeah, that would win, wouldn't it? So I think you could have just taken the bishop. I think you could have just taken the bishop and bid okay, and still won. I think you would have been right as rain at this point. So I'm thinking at this point, when he took here and you played bishop queen b3, that was probably the move that was the losing move. Queen b3. Queen b3 was so now we know that is not the best. It's actually queen takes d3. Queen takes d3. So let's see what the engine says is best. I'm gonna say it's bishop takes d3. I'm thinking bishop takes d3. It's gonna just grab the material. Oh, so you were right. Hold on. Wow. That was correct. Oh, I think it's because you can't castle. See, I think it's because you can't castle here. See, we can't go on engine. We can't go on engine analysis here because we don't have the accessibility of castling. Maybe I can edit the board. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I think I can do castling now. I think we can do castling now. So after takes here, I think after takes, and then you can actually castle here. Knight there, and knight here. Queen takes, knight takes. You have to click that you can castle. I didn't know that. There you go. It's slightly better for white. You still black can castle here, and the one sitch that white has is pawn structure. You have 5 pawns and your opponent has 7 pawns. So the idea is your opponent will eventually be able to, with proper play, consolidate the position and probably go towards a draw. So if we played here and then you played queen to b3, and then he took here and then takes, then knight c5. Actually, probably you wouldn't want to go knight c. Well, maybe. Let me see. If we go here, we actually have a better. Yeah, I don't want to go c6. knight d7 is better because then we get outposted on e4. Okay, so the so the idea of taking was actually better. What did it say? What did black? What was black better? So king takes is best. Okay. All right. So that's basically. Do you have any questions? Yep. The Lord is great. We always have to keep in remembrance that we'll do 3 more puzzles, and then then I gotta log off. But we'll do 3 more in the Daddy Pogars. But good game there. But remember, you never want to be proud. You want to be happy. That's what I always think about. Is that you know what? Happy. That's what I learned from my grandmaster teacher. Was the pride is not good. You can have. I guess in the when it comes to some of the English words, uh, pride, you can have I guess pride in your work, but that's a tough one. A tough one. Because many kings have had pride, and it's caused to them to do a lot of silly things. A lot of kings in like Nebuchadnezzar actually built a statue of himself. So and that was because of pride. I guess there's good pride and bad pride. I think when pride consumes a person, that's the bad pride. Let's see, rook, there. Alright, perfect. Oh, good, how are you? But, congratulations. I'll congratulate you on the game, though. So that was a well played game. Just like what you're saying, I'm glad you're happy that you learned something new. It's always great to learn something new. But it's white to mate 2 now. So what do we have for a mate here? Let's see. Let me see. Hmm. Yeah, pride has a problem of if a person is wrong, pride doesn't let a person a chess player it doesn't allow a chess player to learn anything because what happens is you're afraid that it'll hurt your chess player's ego and they won't take compliments from another chess player, even if it is to help them in their play. Pride does that. and they and even if they made a, and that's also what why chess players won't go over their losses, is it's pride. It hurts their pride, hurts their ego and their pride. Yeah, rook f2, interesting. Let's see here. Gotta check that. This is a weird one because it's I set it up all right. This is just odd. Yeah. All right. Let me see here. I think you're right. I think, let me see, and then bishop takes, knight takes. Okay. Yeah. I think knight f6. Ah, knight f6, queen g7 is mate. If rook at g8, then rook h7's mate. Yeah. If knight f8, then queen, so knight f8, queen g8 is mate. Wow, there's a lot of mates in this one. You gotta be happy in the Lord and know that everything is good. Let's see here, there. Alright, let's do it to it. That's good. Oh yeah, sorry. Yep, there you go. That's good, because you know what? The Lord always helps when you ask. I can't say always. Well, He will provide something that we as humans least expect it to happen, but it's always for the betterment. And it's sometimes not the way that we want the outcome to be, but in the end, it's always for the betterment of us. I know that sounds kind of like what are you talking about? But you know what? Everything that's happened to a chess player in a game. Think about this. Everything that's happened in it. If you played a game, you have a plan, but sometimes your opponents move a certain way. I'll use a chess analysis, to describe it, and you have to basically adjust at that point, and you may win by your opponent making a blunder, but you had this winnier. Let's say you played black, you have the winnier that you want to go down, but your opponent hanged, let's say they hung a knight or a rook or something like that, maybe on move 20, and you're like, yes, and then your opponent resigns. That's kind of the unexpected thing. You analyzed the win here, you had an outcome that you thought was going to happen, but your opponent blundered. But in the end, you won. Okay, let's see here. I'm thinking bishop to h7 here, check, is the winning move, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then um, king there, and then you can queen. It turn it into a queen, and it's mate. Oh. Yeah, that is the Lord is good, and you know what? He's who we rely on in times of great, you know, strife and stuff. But it's not easy, but it's worth it. That's what I always my grandmaster and we talked about the Lord a lot, and we just the cool thing was he got saved through Jesus Christ, but before he passed, so that was really good. So very very wise person. The majority of the stuff that I'm teaching right now is from my grandmaster teacher, the concepts and everything. So let's see, let's get this set up. Okay, let me make sure I get this all right. Okay, we're perfect. This is the last one. This one's an interesting one. You should find this one really fun. This one's a fun one. I'm gonna let you find this one. This one is really fun. You found it. Great job. Yeah, that you gotta love it when you can sack a queen like that. So, do you have any questions on chess or any anything that you'd like to go over on chess? Yeah, that is fun when you can sacrifice a queen like that. Okay. Well, then I will say adieu. I wanted, yeah, thank you. I wanted to thank you all for logging on. And you know what? The Lord is the one who gives talents, blessings, and everything. And you know what? We have to remember that when He gives a person a talent, they should use it to honor the Lord Jesus, of course, first and foremost, and then to help others second. Because when it's all said and done, like Reinfeld isn't here and Horowitz isn't here anymore, but their works, their knowledge of chess books are here, and they left behind a portion of them. And so I don't know if they were believers or not, but whatever it is, but what the whole point is they left something behind for the next generation. And that's why we should do chess, is so that you know what, if the Lord Jesus called you into chess, go for chess. And also, school's important too. So don't neglect your schoolwork always, because there's like Annie Wang and Jennifer Wu. They do their college, their school, and chess right alongside with that. So you can do a balance of all of them. But if that's the profession that the Lord's called you down, and you know what, ask Him if that is, and He'll direct you in that path if it is, and if it isn't, He'll direct you into something that you're supposed to do. You know what, it comes in the oddest of ways. It may be something that somebody says to you, and it's like, huh, just one of those things that you may see something in a movie that the Lord put there from the beginning, of course, to tell you to go down which path He wants you to. But back to the chess at hand is this: we have to take what we know, we have to apply it. So like when we go over, I'm going to show you the book. When we go over Magnus's Endgame books, the reason I do the sublines, and when we go over the French defense, the reason we do the sublines in those is because we're learning the ideas. We're learning what to do right, and what to do that's okay, and what to do that we should play. Like when you play the classic variation, if they play the Alekai and Chad attack, excuse me, a little hiccup there. If they do that, then what you want to do is like what Wesley So did. He didn't take the bishop. He castled king-sided. Wesley castled as black. Because if you take if you take the bishop, what happens is you win a pawn. But the problem is your opponent has a lot of attacking potential. They can attack your queen right off the bat. So you have to know the plans and how to handle it. And that's what Bruce Lee was talking about with knowing and applying, willing and doing. That's what Bruce Lee was talking about. And he also talked about that you will in chess and in everything reach a plateau at points. But one thing you got to do when you feel like you can't go on anymore, always have the Lord Jesus with you, of course. That's why you got to receive Him always and make sure He's your Lord and Savior. But that's the main thing. And what you have to do is also remember to keep focused on the plan at hand. That's why you should have a plan, like a schedule. If you want to finish a book in a certain amount of days, you find out how many pages you have to go through to complete the entire book, and you'll basically be able to get through a book that way. And then what happens is Bruce Lee also said he didn't fear the person who practiced 10,000 individual kicks. He feared the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times. So like if you take the French defense and you learn the French defense inside and out, you'll be like what Bruce Lee said. You'll be the chess player that most chess players fear when you play the French. They'll be like, oh no, they're playing the French again, and then they try to play something against it. You either get a draw or a win. That's cool if you have that type of deep understanding. That's why we're going over it, and that's why we're trying to get a even deeper understanding of the French defense. And in the end, it comes down to what you think about, what you spend your time doing. Whatever talent the Lord's given you, and He's blessed you in that, you should spend your time doing that. And continue to keep pushing forward and honoring the Lord with that. And like I said again, Annie Wang and Jennifer Wu also, they do school and they do chess. So they do both. They have a balance between those two things. And let me see. Then what we have to do is remember what Grandmaster Yasser Seras once said, that every long journey begins with one small step. The small step is every time you come and you study, or if you go to icchess.org and you type in business law, and then you go to the studies that we went over and you go over those, that's the idea of every step on a long journey. That's the small step that Yazur talked about, the studying step. And at the very end, you'll see improvements. You know what I mean? And that's the whole point of studying, is to continue to improve. Proper study, of course. Let me see. And don't give up. You have to always knuckle down, like we said, and get right back up. And you have to treasure your victories, like we treasured the victories of learning and applying what in your gameplay. Okay, and that was fun. But remember, learn from your losses. If that was a loss, learn from it. And you know what? Remember that mistakes. If you make a mistake in chess, remember it doesn't define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. Do you not go over the game because of the mistake, and then you don't get to learn something? Or do you go over the game and you learn something and you can apply it next time in your games? You know what? But in the end, it all comes down to, you know what? You have to put your Grandmaster glasses on too. I wanted to say that when you sit down and do tactics, your tactics Grandmaster glasses are very important. But it all comes down to the Chess Cruncher motto, is to hang up your coats. You have to hang up your hats. You have to sit down and study when most won't. A chess cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. It could be chess, it could be school, it could be anything the Lord has for you to do, that you sit down and study. Trust me, just sit down and studying and learning and doing that will improve whatever area that you're in. And we'll leave you with that. And as Wesley So says, for the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep pushing forward and honoring the Lord Jesus always with the talents that we have in the areas that He has appointed us to be part of. And you know what? It's also about fun. So I remember what my parents told me, that if the journey isn't fun of learning, then it's kind of like, why are you doing it then? But I know work's hard. I understand work's hard, and you do have to sweat. You do have to. It's like, I'll give you an example: planting a garden. You have to, if the ground's rough and hard, you have to hoe it, which is sweating. You have to sweat and do a lot of work. I understand that's not fun, but the fun result is after you get it planted, after the water is provided. You water. The Lord provides the sun and the plants to grow and everything, and you provide all that. When you get the tomatoes, the cucumbers, the squashes, the peas, and all that from the garden, and then you can make a soup and share with others, and then you can talk to them about the Lord. That's all worthwhile. But during the time that you were, kind of having to hoe the ground and do all this stuff, like I always think of the little, the red, the hen, the one that grew the wheat, took the wheat to the mill, smashed the wheat, turned it into flour. Nobody wanted to help, basically her, and at the very end, she was able to make bread. And the story says that she didn't share, but we're just going to say that she does share, and she gets to then teach the others how it works. And so we get to, that's kind of how we do in chess. We do a lot of the hard work of learning so that we can help others improve. And I will leave you with that, because you know what, Hannibal Smith always said that the best plan is a forcing plan, that you know where your opponent's going to do, and it's part of your plan. And when that happens and you get a win or a draw, you get to say this: I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, you know what? 2 thumbs up, hoorah, be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow. same time, and we'll do the have a good amount of studying in and having fun. Bye bye. Be blessed.